Here we are, everyone. Welcome back to Online Darts. We are here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the first one, and we've got Jamie Banks, Head of Broadcast for the PDC. Jamie, exciting times for you more than anything. Obviously, the ITV deal is now underway. We've seen the talent team that you've announced. We've seen part of the World Series. First of all, how excited are you by this lineup that you've assembled?
Yeah, massively so. I mean, it's really exciting time for all of us involved in the sport. Obviously, as you say, the new deal has kicked in and means that we've got a bit more control over the product and the production. So, yeah, we're really excited, and hopefully people will see that we're really trying to evolve the product, move things on, not stand still, and improve the way people enjoy the sport on TV.
First of all, we'll do the talent team that you've assembled, the two presenters. Left field a little bit, especially Pete from Sky Sports. Where did that one come from?
Yeah, I mean, look, we spoke to Pete, and I'll be completely honest with you, Pete wasn't necessarily on the radar for a long time, but he got pushed onto us. I had a conversation with Pete, and immediately I thought, actually, you know what, this is the guy. We try to kind of use people that have got experience in the sport, but his knowledge of it really impressed me, and his desire to help us with the product. And it also allowed us to use Gabby for the World Series, which again gives us two things. One person who's got a load of experience in broadcasting and has an understanding of the sport, but someone else who's still trying to learn and get a foot in the door. I suppose she's been around the sport for a long time, but a more of an understanding on, I don't want to say the lower level stuff because it's not, it's still our production, but give her a chance to grow and build with us, and who knows, in the future maybe move on to some of the other stuff on ITV.
No, I get that, and that's it's a great point, like you say, bringing people through. I suppose the massive talking point is Wayne is going to jump to ITV, and it's got a lot of people excited. How was that conversation with Wayne?
Yeah, it was really exciting actually. He's fully on board with us. He really is looking forward to getting involved. It's obviously something new for him, but also at the same time exactly the same, right? So he knows what he's doing. Everyone loves Wayne, and I think it's a really exciting chance for us to use him, but also for people to see him across the board on some of the different events. I think there's always been this kind of look at darts as Sky and ITV. We're trying to bring that together and make it a more rounded sport. So look, we've seen some of the comments, and I appreciate that people are going to have differing opinions on anything that we do, and that's just the nature of the beast, right? But it's the exact same thing that we're all looking at. We just have different views based on our previous experience. I mean, like you and I support the same football team, right?
Yep.
So you might think the manager should stay, I might think the manager should go. It doesn't mean one of us is right or one of us is wrong, or one of us cares less about the team. It just means that we have different opinions based on what we've seen in front of us. So like for this, darts, the people watching at home don't necessarily care any less about the product than I do or than you do. Yeah. They just have watched it in a certain way, experienced it in a certain way, and have a different opinion. And that's absolutely fine to go down that path and appreciate the sport in a different way. I think the key thing for me, though, is making sure that even if someone doesn't agree or they're not overly enamoured with some of the decisions, they understand why we've done it.
Yeah,
I just really hope that people look at it away from just their own individual viewpoint and watch the sport as an overall bigger picture and see, okay, I know why they've done that, even if I don't agree with it.
So it's one exciting thing as a darts fan, me including this, but at some point we're going to see Chris Mason and Wayne Mardle together, and for so long it was dubbed Mace with ITV, Wayne with Sky. I'm excited to see them together at some point. That must excite you as well.
Of course it does. I mean, they're the two of the best broadcasters that we have in the sport. They have very different styles, but it doesn't mean they can't work together and be really good together. That's the good thing that we have here. We have the opportunity to step back from the ITV, the Sky, and however else anyone might want to look at it and go, well, we think that person is the best for this role, that person's the best for this role, and bring them all together and hopefully create a team that everyone going forward can really enjoy.
Two debutants in terms of TV darts at the highest level, Ian Dancer and Mark Wilson. We've seen Mark do a couple of World Series events in the Euro Tour. Big step up for him, and what attracted you to dance as well?
Well, we'll start with Wills. I mean, we've worked with Wills for a couple of years now, and immediately I thought, hold on a minute, this guy's got something. He's grown his knowledge base of the sport, he understands it more, but as a broadcaster I think he's superb, and that leads nicely on to Dance, who I think is a real steal for us. I think he's an absolutely brilliant broadcaster, plenty of experience, he's done talk sport on darts, he has to learn that transition from radio darts to TV darts. It is very different, but he is a superb broadcaster, and I'm really excited to have him on board.
Everyone knew Dan Dawson was obviously going to be a gimme, one of the best broadcasters around, and just his versatility, can lead, can do co-coms, can do a bit of presenting if absolutely needed, a bit of punditry. Again, I guess that was an easy one.
It wasn't even a debate, honestly. I mean, again, trying not to have too many strong opinions on certain people, but he's one of the best broadcasters I've ever worked with. He knows more about the sport than anybody else. Easy decision, involved with as much as we can get him involved with. One thing we are going to try and be careful with, and we will work with Sky because they're our partners too, we don't want to overkill anyone. We don't want someone to be constantly there, because it does become the Dan Dawson show, for example.
Yeah,
And he
I
doesn't
get
want
that.
that and we don't want that. So we'll make sure we combine different people at different times to keep it fresh. But look, yeah, Dan, easy peasy, best in the business.
You said a really good point there, which I'll come back to in a second. Again, and Glenn Durrant, someone that's done really well with Sky. I'm guessing you've been impressed with what he's done as well in the first couple of years.
I think it's really important to have someone as an ex-pro who is fairly recent, because you sort of... The game changes, you know that. We all know that.
100%.
Things change, the sport changes. Dazza has had involvement in the sport in the not too distant past and has also had broadcasting experience recently. So, yeah, he was a pretty easy decision as well. I mean, I really like Dazza. He's a great guy. And again, the passion for the sport comes across really well in his commentary. But we wanted to make sure that we have differing styles. So Mace is different to Wayne, who's different to Webby, who's different to Dazza. But they all come together really nicely and all work with each other. Apart from Wayne and Mace, hopefully they don't beat each other up. I'm sure it will be fun.
What you said about mixing it up, is this almost like a bit of a Super Sunday Monday Night Football feel where we never get the same lineup or anything like that, where the footballers mix it up, where we don't have Roy Keane every week, we don't have Micah Richards every week? Is that kind of the buzz and the feel that you want to go with?
Yeah, look, Monday Night Football is kind of always the goal for most people, but analysis is a key part of what we want to do going forward. I think one thing that we have not necessarily done so brilliantly in the past is that ability to analyse a game and not just speak about it. We want to show things, we want to be able to create an environment where people understand what's happening. The sport has changed so dramatically over the last few years. Obviously the introduction of Luke Littler has made a huge difference to that, but we've got such a different audience now, younger audience and a different type of market that we've never been into before. So we want to be able to explain the sport in a way that's never been done before. So hopefully when we get to the Masters, when we get to Milton Keynes, you'll be able to see that a few little changes, nothing overly dramatic, but little bits and pieces that allow people to understand the sport in a different way, whether they be experienced viewers or someone who just turned up.
Is that the key? Just little bits every tournament, like not trying to make drastic changes all at once, just little bits here and there, like we've seen new graphics, for instance, here in Bahrain and Saudi, just little things like that.
Look, the graphics are fairly dramatic change,
massive,
and I appreciate that people aren't always gonna love what we do. I said about it earlier in the piece. We all watch the exact same product, we just view it in a different way to one another. But I personally, listen, I'm the one who signed them off and said I like them, so I think they're great and a different look at the way we do things. Again, looking at the audience, we're not just trying to appease the people that have been here forever. We're trying to bring everyone into the sport and again make it a more rounded viewing experience for everyone, not just the people that have watched it forever. Look, if you sit around reading social media comments all day, you never get anywhere. It's not a place to be positive. I knew there was going to be a bit of backlash, but I think one thing that we need to understand is that the only way to appreciate and accept change is by going with it. If you just sit there with your arms folded, go, I'm not doing this, I'm not interested in this, we'll never get anywhere. Give it a chance, get used to it, see how we go. If we need to make changes over a period of time, we will. We'll keep developing things, keep changing things, but I just ask that people take the chance to go, okay, yes, it is different, but let me give it a chance, go with it.
With the graphics side of it, this is a Sky and an ITV one. Are we going to see more graphics and more interactive even? Like I look at like cricket do some really amazing graphics and things like the IPL and stuff like that. Long term, is that where you want to get more interactive with the viewer and so on?
Well, look, the 100 was a good example of how things change. Again, that wasn't particularly well appreciated graphics-wise at the start. I think people have got used to it. We're just trying to bring more things from other sports into darts and take the best stuff and make it as good as we can. We'll work with Sky, we always do. We've got a fantastic relationship with the guys at Sky, and we'll try and build a product that is consistent throughout. There's obviously going to be bits and pieces that are Sky only, Sky branded, and things that are our stuff, but we will try and work together and make sure that darts is a more full product. You mentioned like Formula One and cricket are great sports to look at. You know when you're watching a product, an F1 product, because it's all very consistent. Nothing's ever going to be exactly the same because of two broadcasters, but we will try and work together and make things a bit more rounded. I
like that. What you say about bringing the best bits from other sports, and I love that. And we've spoken about this off camera before. The walk-ons, obviously, by the time this goes out, people have seen the walk-on here in Riyadh, very, very different. Is that something that you want to improve? Because I've been critical that's been the one part of the sport that hasn't changed in 15 years. And are you looking at other sports, how you can improve the darts walk-on, for instance?
Absolutely. I mean, look, WWE is a really good example as well. They do things in a certain way that maybe we could bring into this sport. We don't want to change anything massively or too dramatically because we appreciate there is an audience at home watching on TV that have been used to it, and also an audience in the venue that really enjoy that interactive experience with the players. But certainly the walk-ons are something we're looking at. As you mentioned, people will have seen what's happened here in Saudi Arabia. it's very different, and we won't be necessarily implementing that style across the board because we have to appreciate the people in the venues. But we are going to try and make subtle differences, whether it be through lighting, camera angles, and that kind of thing to improve the experience for sure.
You could amalgamate the two. I could see that working quite well at the match play, the players walking out of that, then into the main walk.
I mean, it is fantastic. I mean, again, I think people will really like it. We have to be cautious because there'll be someone sitting behind that guy, can't see anything. So we have to be careful. But look, it's really, really exciting. We have this opportunity to try and change these. I think it's key to also go back and say this isn't knocking anything ITV they've done over the past 20 years, because they've done a fantastic job of producing an unbelievable sport and helping us to grow. But I think that ability for us to have a bit more of a say in what we do, we're not going to rip everything up and start again. We're going to build on the success that they've had, but we want to improve it and make things better. Of course we do.
Anything else that you want to add? What's coming up? You got any teasers you can give us before we go?
No, look, I think the key thing to note is that we are really trying to listen to what people say, whether that be staff, talent, anyone here, but also the fans at home. We want to change things. We're going to make mistakes, and like I've said throughout this conversation, there are going to be differing opinions, and I just really hope that the people at home can understand that this isn't just looking through one person's eyes. It's trying to make it a more rounded experience for every single fan, whether they're new, whether they're old. Please have opinions, please keep voicing them, we'll try and help them. It's just I'm very fortunate that I get to make some of these decisions and my opinions are going on the telly. So yeah, I don't begrudge anyone a different opinion to mine, I'm just lucky.
Jamie, thanks for coming on the channel as always, mate. We massively appreciate it.
My pleasure, mate, thank you.